Hello, welcome to the Mandela Effect equals knowledge. My name is Dale DuFay. In this video, we're going to talk about the expanding Earth theory and how it explains why we have earthquakes and there's dozens of volcanoes across the Earth. But this theory has been around for quite some time. I've never heard of it before. That's because we're indoctrinated with the Big Bang theory, so it's always assumed by geologists that the Earth has always been this size and that it just simply recycles itself. It has tectonic plates that separate, and it has plates that, what do they call that, where it goes into each other, seduction. And those are the areas that claim cause tsunamis and stuff, even though they don't know why tsunamis only occur during certain earthquakes. But the fact is that this theory's been around a long time and it's still currently being used, but it's not being accepted by academia simply because there's no way the Earth could expand if gravity is king. And of course, the Mandela Effect's revealing that it's an electrical universe and gravity's not, king at all. I mean, of course it exists, it's necessary and useful, but the fact is it's not dictating and ruling the universe, if you will. So with that in mind, and the fact that we've, come from realities where our soul portion, the one we were born with, originated from, where the earths are, mammoths, behemoths, those matriarchs out there on the outer reaches of the Sagittarius arm are enormous in comparison. And with this fact that, that gravity and the Big Bang theory are incorrect and obsolete, now that we know that, we can assume that with confidence that the center of the galaxy is a white hole and all matter starts from there and is created from there. I mean, look at it for like an arc welder and the sparks coming out. That's all matter from that high energy. And indeed, the center of the galaxy is immense energy, all electrical, electromagnetic. It's very important to realize that. And with that in mind, and the fact that in this reality, in the same dimension, and the same Milky Way galaxy, these Earths are very close to the galactic center and are smaller, much smaller than the ones we recall on the outer reaches of the Sagittarius arm. So we have to assume that the Earths grow as they age. That's when I started looking into it personally and realized that it's been postulated back in the 30s. And if you think about it, it makes so much sense. You see, the Earth was, when it was in Pangea, there's no argument there among geologists or, any of us experiencing Mandela Effect, but it was just that. It was a small globe with hardly any water, and just, and as it expanded, the great oceans appeared, and the tectonic plates separated. Now, it's interesting to find out that, the Mandela Effect is vindicating those that postulate and go by the expanding Earth theory. It makes so much sense, and when you think about it, that explains why we have earthquakes, and and you don't even have to be a geologist to figure that out. In fact, I was born and raised in the Chicago area, and we once in a while would get earthquakes there, and they couldn't explain why. Their only explanation is they call them rebound quakes. By that they mean that the earth ground is rebounding from the massive weight they endured during the Ice Age, when there were 2-mile thick glaciers over northern Illinois. But that was built, tens of thousands of years ago. So why would the ground still be rebounding? But of course, that was their only explanation. But in reality, the explanation is the Earth is expanding. Of course, it's infinitesimal as far as we're concerned. In fact, geologists would probably take many generations with modern equipment to realize through annual measurements or even monthly measurements for many years, they see that the Earth is indeed expanding. And there's the great mid-Atlantic ridge that actually separates. There's no argument amongst geologists that that separates, because they could see it in Iceland. It spreads 1 inch a year, and like I like to mention, in my lifetime, that ridge, mid-Atlantic ridge that starts from the almost 90 degrees north, goes clear to Antarctica, separated 5 feet in my lifetime. So that's interesting when you realize that. But that's not the only tectonic plate that's separating either. Again, they have to assume that others are subduction zones, and that's where the massive heat and recycling comes in and causes volcanoes. But nothing could be further from the truth. Again, the Mandela Effect's revealing it, and it makes so much sense. And same's true with volcanoes. It's not from subduction zones around the ring of fire causing that. It's just, again, the Earth expanding, not just by separating in subduction zones or fault zones and tectonic plates. It's also caused by spewing out matter from within the Earth, as volcanoes do, making the Earth grow. Sometimes we watch Mount Etna on the webcam, and you could just see massive amounts of material spewing out of that almost on a regular basis, thereby adding real estate, as do island volcanoes. It just keeps adding. It just keeps growing. And again, we can say this with confidence. We know this happens because we've seen these super Earths. We're on them right now. Those realities still exist. The replica version of yourself that this portion of your soul originated from is still there. It just has another portion of your soul in it at this time, as does this replica version of yourself. In other words, this replica version of yourself has seen perhaps over 100 portions of your soul before your portion of your soul arrived. These are the guys that postulated back in the 30s about this, and they were just shunned and ridiculed because, again, it was in sharp contrast to the Big Bang Theory, which, of course, many of you know I like to call the Big Boo-Boo Theory. But we know that there's Earths out there on the outer reaches that are huge, and we can almost see how this Earth is going to look hundreds of millions of years from now as it ages and ventures out the galactic arm, as obviously the Earths and solar systems and companion planets did, because those super Earths originated from the galactic center as well. Perhaps when this, during a calving hundreds of millions of years ago, we know that the, galaxies do not collide again. Contrary to Big Bang, they actually calve. So this galaxy was once early on calved from a other galaxy. It's just amazing. But that just proves that the Milky Way galaxy is teeming with Earths and life on them as we know it, with us there. And it's remarkable, and that's what's amazing about the Mandela Effect. Even though you can't prove anything, you get to see certain theories being vindicated, like the expanding Earth theory. So the fact that it's vindicated is actually, in a sense, really, it's not a theory. That's exactly what happens. The Earth expands. Now, I'm not arguing that there's not fault lines that rub side to side. We know that that's it's California. The San Andreas Fault does, but that doesn't make the expanding Earth theory any less legitimate, because it's all part of the Earth growing. Certainly, there's going to be some that are going to rub together. But for the most part, they're separating. There's no subduction zones. There's none of that as they assume. They have to assume it. They have no way of proving it. But they're the ones that should go ahead and try and prove it, because, like I said, these, not just the Mandela effect is going to vindicate this theory, but the fact that high technological equipment is going to vindicate it, and satellites, all those satellites around. In fact, they may even already know, but they can't admit it, because then they'll have to say that they've been wrong all along. So that's there lies in the problem. But again, that's what's cool about the Mandela effect, is it's giving us all this knowledge and making us understand and realize and have this knowledge that other people that have been going to school and college for 8 years have no idea. We know more than they do, and we didn't even, thank God I didn't go to college. It would have all been a waste of time. So it's what's great about the Mandela effect. It's making us very, it's the great teacher. It's teaching us that the earth grows at an infinitesimal rate, but it grows, indeed grows. And it's showing us, incredible things about spirituality, giving us great knowledge, more knowledge of spirituality just by experiencing it than the Pope himself. But again, there's no proof, there's no way. The vindication will occur, as it already is as far as we're concerned. But that's the really amazing thing about it. We know more about planet Earth than any geologist on Earth, except for these guys who, again, this is a theory that's still alive today. Try as they may, to shun it. It's already obvious. But again, the Mandela effect's vindicating them. The Mandela effect's giving us, those of us that ain't even a geologist, education. Or perhaps you were a geologist, but now you really know what it's all about. And that's what's incredible, because we know we're in all those realities where the Earth's, in every reality, the Earth it's unique. Not just by size, but character, personality, in a sense. So that that's what's wonderful. The lessons that we are getting, and understanding. See, it's a great GIF here. It shows it really well, and I think it's very accurate as far as there's it is now, this reality, and there it is, Pangea right there. That's what Pangea looked like. And we know that there's Earths throughout the entire Milky Way galaxy, because we've been there, and we are there, and we're still there. That's the remarkable thing about it. It's proven that quantum entanglement is the basic foundation of existence. It's incredible. And science is catching up to that. They know that quantum entanglement knows no boundaries. It's really cool, and we get to know that they're correct in that regard, because we're experiencing it. We know we have replica versions of ourselves that mature in our soul, perhaps in some cases 75,000 light years. I know I this portion of my soul originated 75,000 light years from here. It's just absolutely incredible when you think about it. So with that, I thank you for watching, and we'll talk at you later. Love you.